Oh, YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. It is I, your boy, B3, back with another kicking. That's right, graphic novel review. I got another Kaiju one for you today. Last time we did Kaijumax Season 1. So obviously today we're going to do Kaijumax Season 2 from Oni Press. I'm going to read you the back of the book real quick. Life ain't easy for a Liza on the outside. L-I-Z-Z-A. That's like their N-word. As bad as things get in Kaijumax, the infamous island prison for the planet's most terrible monsters, the outside world can be a whole lot worse. Kaiju fugitives, parolees, thieves, drug addicts, and those who have simply fallen through the mega-sized cracks are left to fend for themselves against a planet that doesn't want them. Listen to the tense reunion and rap battle of the Humongo brothers. See the ill-fated crime spree of Zugaigo, defender of all Asia. Smell the hopeless Lovecraftian addicts in the undersea Kraken house. And follow our fugitive hero Electrogore as he makes his way home, where he desperately hopes his children await him. Yeah, that read up at the end is kind of like an old monster movie trailer, you know? But the seamy underbelly collects the entire Season 2 of the critically acclaimed Eisner-nominated satire Kaijumax from award-winning cartoonist Xander Cannons. This whole thing is one writer, one artist. There's one dude that does everything. Which is pretty rad. I gotta say, they don't do that anymore in American comics. That's just not something they do in American comics. Like, that's not rare or anything in Japan. But like here, pretty rare. Pretty rare. So we got plenty of cool stuff. It has some kaiju diagrams that are parodies of the Toho Godzilla kaiju organ diagrams. And then we see like the brown Gargantua. Like the one that's a parody of Sanda, as seen here on the left. I think it's more like a red Gargantua in this book. But he has a job with humans. He works with humans. And he's like trying to make a better life for himself. And obviously all the humans are like racist against kaiju and everything. And the green Gargantua, or Humongo in this case, and Electrogar show up at his place, and he's like, if you're seen here, it'll violate my parole, they'll send me back to prison. He tells them they can stay overnight and whatnot, but, you know, that's as far as it goes. We got some Kamen Rider parodies, we got some Gatchaman parodies. We get to see the mechas again. The Ultra Man parody that kind of killed someone in the last book has grown like a bunch of weapons and stuff on his body. I guess the more you're in your Ultraman form, the more weapons and stuff grow on you. And he has like PTSD now. So he never leaves his Ultraman form. He always stays in it. Because whenever he's in his human form, he's like afraid he's going to get crushed. It's pretty crazy stuff. It's just such a good, like, it is a satire, yeah, and it started out as mostly comedic, but it went straight to social commentary, and it went there really quickly. And then the Green Gargantua and Electrogar kind of never leave, and they kind of ruin everything for him. To destroy his alarm clock so he doesn't get up in time for work. And since he misses work, his parole officer comes to check on him. And when his parole officer comes to check on him, he's like, you got to go back to Kaijumax. So he kills his parole officer and joins up with them, which is pretty crazy. We get to follow the story of the sister of the mecha that is non-violent now. And she's pretty cool. She's like a hardcore cop. She's a rookie. I really like her. She's probably the most likable character in this whole series, to be honest. Her and Electrogar, easily. But she's fighting kaiju, and apparently, like, the Humongos can fuse together into a giant black Humongo, which is really, really cool. I mean, can you imagine if the Gargantuas could do that? And we also find out that the Ultra 7 parody, who was a dirty cop who was killed, the aliens that killed him also ate him, which is also really crazy. And we also get some backstory on the warden of the prison, and it turns out there was this Gamera-like kaiju that was the protector of all Asia, because, you know, Gamera's the protector of all children. And this Gamera kaiju, they tried to protect it, and as it ran from the army, it destroyed a school, killed a bunch of people, and as it was running, it just kept killing and killing and killing and killing. And eventually, one of the children that was trying to protect the Gamera-like monster ended up pressing a button that shot a blast at it and killed it. And she is now the warden's boss, because that was all in the past. We also get some we see some cool monsters that are like also based on like urban legends, like Mothman, Moklo Mumble, etc., etc. The rookie cop's father is murdered by his business associate. Also pretty crazy. We get to see more of the Warden's Ultraman form, and he has the coolest one, honestly. It's like really cool. And then there's also like this kind of undersea place, like all these undersea temples where like Lovecraftian monsters live, and they're all like crack whores and stuff. It's kind of like just a really bad kaiju neighborhood, you know? And one tries to help Electrogar because she has kids too, but she's also like, hey, I'm not doing this out of kindness. I'm doing this because you're upsetting the status quo down here and I want you the hell out. But then she kind of ends up getting abused by Cthulhu, like her abusive boyfriend, and Electrogar tries to stand up for her, and after he defeats the guy, she's like, why the hell did you do that? Now you're just gonna leave, and as soon as he wakes up, he's gonna treat me even worse because you stood up for me. She's like, you just made my life a whole lot worse. Get the hell out of here. And I was like, damn. This is quite the book. This book is so good. Everything about it is wonderful. The art is like real unique. It's not a lot like art I've seen before. And it's just beautiful. Because the art gives like this kind of, like the art has a very lighthearted tone, but the story isn't that lighthearted at all. We see a Titanosaurus parody, and it turns out Electrogar goes to get his kids, and one of them's grown up, and she's kind of taking care of her brother. And she's kind of a badass now. So the cops come to arrest her and her father and her little brother. They fight the cops, beat the cops. And then the daughter is like, hey, we have to eat them or they'll be able to find us. That's how it works. He's like, oh, my little girl, what happened to you? And she's like, oh, you want to know what happened to me? You abandoned us. That's what happened to me. It's really crazy. Got some Dragon Ball Z and other anime references in here. It's just a playground for references. Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Red Man, all kinds of references in here. And there's just this huge battle at the end of this volume, and it's just crazy. It's such a good volume. Everything about this book is just perfect. If you're a kaiju fan, a toku fan, anything like that, you will adore this book. And it's also a great social commentary on things like the police, our prison system, racism, classism. It doesn't get better than this. Every title I've read from Oni Press has been great. Sure, I've only read this and their Rick and Morty books. Well, you know what? I take that back because the Pocket Morty's miniseries was actually pretty bad. Never mind, I take it back. Their Pocket Morty's miniseries was bad, but the Rick and Morty single title and this Kaijumax book are both great. Kaijumax is so good. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. Support us on Patreon so we can bring you more great content all the time. Next time we will be doing Kaijumax Season 3. Yeah, can't wait. That's it. Thank you all once again. Peace out!